Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with another art related video because I'm going to be reviewing the sketchbox premium box for August 2021. This is actually my first time ever trying an art subscription box, so I'm really excited. So let's just get right into it. Okay, it's now time to open the box. So I'm just going to open it up. And there we can see all the supplies, and I'm just going to move that to the side. Okay, so our first item is fluid graphite, and this is a material I've never worked with before, so I'm really excited to try that one. We also have a green gouache. I love gouache. I think it's a really fun material because of how versatile it is, and yeah. So we also get this really nice paintbrush, and it has a chisel tip. And we also get these fine liners, and I really like the packaging on these. They're really pretty. We get a white chalk pencil and a Copic multi-liner. And then we also get a sticker, a print from this month using the supplies, a pad of paper made for watercolor, and then the list of the supplies. Oops. Okay, so I've set up my supplies, and I'm just going to start by swatching the different materials. So I really want to start with the fluid graphite because it's the thing I'm most interested about. So it looks like it's a really thick liquid. I'm not sure if you can really see it in there, but I'm going to try just swatching it on its own first. And it is super thick. But I'm pretty sure this is meant to be used with water, so I'm going to get a little bit of that on my palette and water it down a bit. So I'm just creating a gradient to kind of see the different values. Okay, so that's the liquid graphite. I think that's really cool and interesting, and actually I'm just going to try to water it down even further because I think I can get even lighter values. It's really nice and interesting. One thing I'm going to have to try once it dries is if it's erasable, because if it is, then that would be really cool. So the next supply I will try is the gouache. I've already tried gouaches before, but I've never used this brand, so I'm just going to test that out. Again, the nice thing about gouache is how diverse it is. You can use it with different varying amounts of water, and it will have different opacities, which is really cool. And this is really nice and smooth, and I enjoy using gouache a lot. So next supply I'm going to try are the fine liners. I'm going to start by the one in emerald green. I think this is more of a blue or teal color, than an emerald green, but it's really pretty and I like it a lot. So this one is in light green. And that's how that one swatches. Another really pretty color. Oops. Next I'm going to be using Sea Fog, which looks to be a nice little gray. Another really pretty fine liner. And then I'll try my Copic multi-liner. And it's a pretty thick one. It's in size 1. And so it's a pretty thick one, but it's still really nice, as most Copic products are. And so I'm just going to let these dry, and then I'm going to test this one over top, and then also test if the graphite is erasable. Okay, I've given these a bit of time to dry, so now we're going to be testing the white chalk pencil. I've used other pencils like this before, but I just want to see how this one is. These are really great for adding like highlights onto your darker mediums. It works okay on the graphite, but it seems to just be smudging it a lot more than you can see it, and so I'm just going to try it on the gouache. And yeah, it works a lot better on gouache. And so I also said I wanted to test if that was erasable. So I'm just got a little eraser here. And it is not. So now that I've done all my tests and swatches, I'm just going to create a design on the next page, so then I can try to create an artwork just using those supplies from this month's box. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little voiceover here for the time lapse, just so I can kind of narrate what was going on. So I had a hard time figuring out what I was going to do with this paper because it had very odd proportions. It was very like long, and I wasn't really sure about the idea. And as you can see at this part of the time lapse, I was really struggling with the eyes. I could not settle on how I wanted them to look, and I really had a hard time making them look similar. Even in the end, they still don't look very alike, but I'm happy with how it turned out. So I decided I was going to draw a girl being like overgrown with leaves, because the greens were really nice and pretty and like very naturey, so I figured I should do something with that. So here I'm just sketching everything in, just so I can plan how everything is going to look, and I just erase that. And then I go in with the liquid graphite. The liquid graphite was like really interesting to work with. It was similar to like other water-based mediums such as watercolor, and it worked really well, and it had a very like graphite quality once it was done drying. It was really nice. I was able to get a lot of values in this piece, and it blended out quite well. The paintbrush was also really nice. I really like how they decided to use a chisel tip in it because it just allowed for a lot of variety in line weight and brush strokes. So that way it could be used for a lot. I did end up using a smaller brush to get into some of the finer details, but for majority of the piece I was able to use the one brush they provided, which was nice. This brush also had this really nice like velvet finish to it, which was like really like strange but really nice. It felt really nice to use. At this point my head gets in the way a lot, I guess. so I'm sorry for that. But I'm just finishing up on the face using the liquid graphite. I decided to give her eye bags, kind of like give the like appearance that maybe she's been in this overgrown situation for like a while. I decided to only use the grays for the girl to further like push that idea and to really bring out the like life and nature in the leaves that I'm adding later on. So at this point is when I start going in with the green gouache and starting to play with the leaves. I try to start with lighter values and then darkening it up. I also wanted to leave lighter spaces so I could go in with the fine liners, which you'll see later in the time lapse. And so I'm just kind of trying to do green blobs and communicate those as leaves. The gouache was also super nice to work with. It was really smooth and I really had no problems with it. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the paper. I really enjoyed this paper. I think I used quite a bit of water on it and it did not buckle at all. It was a really nice hot press watercolor paper and it was really nice to use. So I think it was a good choice for this because it's so mixed media. So having that nice sturdy paper is really like nice for the materials they included. So at this point, I'm just going in with the fine liners to add more details to my piece. As you can see, I'm putting in the irises in the eyes, and then I'm use them to add some texture to the plants. I used both the emerald green and the light green for the leaves, and then I used a bit of the sea fog to help define some more of the facial features. And so now I'm going in with the Copic multi-liner to outline parts of the drawing. Personally, I prefer a thinner multi-liner for my drawings, but I didn't mind this one. It was a really nice quality, obviously. And I think the thicker outlines help to really like contrast the piece and really helped bring out some of the details. If you enjoy my art and are interested in seeing more of it, make sure to check me out on my social medias. That will be linked down below because there you can see more of it. And so now I'm just going to go in with the white chalk pencil and attempt to add highlights to the leaves. It didn't work out very well for me, and I would have preferred a white gel pen or a white colored pencil instead, but I still think the end result was really nice. Okay, so now it's time for me to give my final thoughts on the box. So overall, I thought the box was really great, and it was really fun to use new mediums that I haven't really used before, such as the fluid graphite. I had a really fun time being like pushed to use a set amount of colors and materials in my work, and especially since they're new, so it's fun to test them all out. For value, I would say the box is worth it. On the back of this page, it has all the prices, and I added it up and converted it to Canadian dollars, and it was worth around $63.27. Now, for the box without any taxes or shipping, I paid $43.75, and including shipping, it was $57.63. So overall, you're not saving too much money, but I still think it's worth it because you also have to like factor in buying all these products and the shipping on those as well. And it also allows you to try materials you wouldn't have tried before. Like I would have never picked up liquid graphite. As I've said before, it was a completely new medium to me that I've never even heard of before. And so it was really fun to try something that I know I wouldn't have picked up for myself. So I think that really is what makes this box worth it. Overall, I would recommend this box, and I think if you're ever in the market for one, you should really try it, and maybe I'll have another type of review on another box or something sometime in the future, but that's all for today. Goodbye!